Hi, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Sipping Tea with Suzanne. I am your fabulous host, Positively Suzanne. I'm so excited to be here. Not only do I have the fabulous Mari Gonzalez with me. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good, I'm excited. Thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. So I'm gonna tell the viewers that this is not your first time. You were actually booked to be on it before, and it just like because of our scheduling, because we both do a lot of things, right? We do one or two things, so we weren't able to make that time work. But I'm so glad because today is the final show of the season.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Save the best for last.
That's
Don't tell
what
nobody.
I'm
Don't
saying.
tell nobody.
Listen, you know all your friends are watching. And they were on it.
I love it. Love it.
So I'm so glad that we get to end the show with you today. I'm just really excited about it. But there's so many things we're going to talk about today. But as I mentioned, the fabulous Mari Gonzalez, you're going to find out about her, why I chose her to be the final guest, why she's just such a phenomenal light in the community. But I do want to call out my sponsors. So first, let's call out Life Garden Cafe. My fabulous face sponsors, right? Aren't they amazing?
Amazing.
Listen, food, ambiance, decor, like everything.
Drinks,
service,
coffee.
Just everything. They're one-stop destination.
Love
You
it.
can, rent it out and do events here. So,
Okay.
which is fantastic. So please, and in the summer months, they're a little slow. So come on down. Like they're looking for people. Come on, bring your family, bring your friends, and they'll open up the outside if this rain ever stops.
Yes. This rain needs to stop, girl.
This rain because my hair.
I'm like.
Exactly.
And
So,
it's summer.
Thank you. We need to show some skin.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a little bit, right? So Life Garden Cafe, and then my second sponsor is Paul Anderson from Paul Anderson Photography. Please contact him for all your photography needs, headshots, real estate photos, wedding, barbecues, cookouts, funerals, all of that. And I want to also thank you to my loyal viewers who have subscribed and who tune in week after week. I appreciate everything about you. But even though I mentioned today is the final episode of the season, don't despair. We will be back in September for season 2, but we will be off for the month of July and August. But get ready because I'm about to sit down and sip some tea with my girl and talk. Yes. All right. So Miss Mari, welcome.
Thank you.
How are
Thank
you?
I'm doing good. I'm tired, but I'm
Yeah.
good.
Girl,
I'm being real, right? I get to sip some tea and I get to relax for an hour or so,
And
but
we just talk.
yes,
We
we
just
just
talk. But no,
Yep.
I get that you're tired because as I mentioned on the hour, you do one or two things.
Yes.
So I am so honored that you said yes and that, you're here with me today and, we can get to talk about a little bit of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
I love it. And I must say, I love your colors.
Oh,
And
thank you.
when I was, because I always tell the guests, whatever you want.
Okay.
If you want to wear a ball gown, if you want to wear a bikini, whatever,
Okay.
it's you. However, you feel fabulous, right? That's the dress
Absolutely,
code. And I
absolutely.
said to my husband, I said, I know she's going to wear bright colors because I love that about you, that you're not afraid of colors.
No, you can't be. You can't be.
You just,
Yes.
just rock colors
Yep.
all
So
the time.
and it's funny that you bring about the colors. So I actually love fashion.
Yes.
I love color. I love anything that just brings out the personality in you,
Yeah.
right? So fashion is really big with me. I went to school for fashion merchandising and marketing. So I went to Mount Ida. So that's
okay.
something that a lot of people don't know. So
I love
the
that.
fact I've always loved, since I was a child, my
Yeah.
mother let me express, my personality with the way I dressed,
Yeah.
So back in the day, right, the big bell bottoms, right, when TLC came out, right, with the
Yes,
big baggy
yes,
jeans, the
yes.
T-shirts, the big hats, like
Yes.
I did all of that, right?
Yeah.
Then you had, Madonna, then you had, Friends, the Rachel haircut. So I've always, I've experimented, even with my hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I have short blonde hair
Like
is,
short pixie blonde, yes.
pixie blonde. 8 years ago, I was going to a wedding.
Yeah.
And my hair, I just felt my hair didn't go with my outfit.
Uh-huh.
And I just randomly went to a hair salon and said, cut my hair and dye my hair blonde.
I need to see pictures of before though.
Yes,
'Cause I only know
yes,
the shade.
I know.
Yeah.
I've had jet black long hair. So I
Really?
gradually went from the show, from halfway
Yeah.
to the shoulders to the pixie to the layers, and then gradually went boom.
Oh, I
I
love
know.
it.
So, but I stuck with the blonde. I stuck with the
I
blonde
mean,
hair
it's so
and the
stunning.
short.
It's striking. Like when you
Thank
walk into
you.
a room, because like the blonde hair, and you always have on some bright color. It
Yeah.
stands out. It's
Yeah.
striking. And I always, and I don't know. I think that's how I met you. I told you,
Yeah.
I gave you a compliment or something like that, because I think you and I were not shy about complimenting other women that we see
Absolutely.
that look fabulous, or like, oh,
Yes.
girl,
I love a good pair of shoes. I love
Yes.
the colors, and you know what's so crazy is that, then not that I'm always staring to see what people have on, but
Oh, I do.
love to, okay, maybe I do a little.
Because
So
we
I
like
like to
it.
compliment,
Yeah.
especially a lot of women, right? If your confidence, I love your confidence, your energy, and that's what we connected, right?
Yes.
Because a good outfit, especially if you're, certain weight, because yes, I'm petite, okay,
Yeah.
but not certain things look good on me. I can't wear certain things. But when I see women that know how to put it together, and look well,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's
right,
it.
girl.
And that's how we connect. And
Yes.
we're like, okay, girl, you're wearing that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it. We got to continue to compliment each other
Yes.
and love that.
No,
So
definitely.
All right.
So, but yeah, so that's why I love clothing and fashion.
And I can tell because, like I said, I've always just every
Yep.
time I'm like, all right, Mari,
Definitely,
Mari.
yep.
But so listen,
Okay.
I have to talk to you
Okay.
about EBS. So it's funny after meeting you through that, and then I kept hearing about EBS, like
Okay.
about this nonprofit.
Yes.
And then somebody said to me that, do I know who runs it? And I said no.
Okay.
And then they said it was you, and I was like, okay, but like I hadn't connected the name at the time yet. And then I
Yes.
was like, wait, no, I know her. And then I started looking to see, what it is,
Yep.
and just the tremendous amount of work and good that it does for the community.
Amen.
And I had a conversation with you, and you told me that you didn't even start it.
Nope.
It was through your parents,
Yes.
and that you have continued that legacy. So just tell us a little bit about what it is, and
Yeah.
truly what it does, and how folks can get involved and truly help out, because it's so needed. It's sad that that's something that is so needed and it's so necessary in this community right now, because food, actually all over, food insecurity is a big deal.
It is.
Right now. So let's talk about
no,
what EBS is and how it came about.
Yeah.
Starting with your dad, and
Yeah,
now
definitely.
to you.
So EBS, right? The full name is El Buen Samaritano Food Program Inc. Translation, right? It's the Good Samaritan. So the organization, did start back in 1991 by my mother. My mother, Puerto Rican from Ponce. My dad, Dominican from Dominican Republic. And, my father, was an immigrant from Dominican Republic. And, one of the reasons why he started the organization is because, he knows what it is to be hungry. Like being hungry hurts.
Yeah.
And, when he came to, to the U.S., it was just kind of like an eye-opener, like, wow, the richest nation in the world, and people are still struggling with basic essentials and basic needs, right? But how EBS started in Worcester is, first of all, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. We're from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, so Brooklyn, New York. I was born, we were born in the 80s, right? So we were there. And then, of course, my father was an evangelist. So that's how my father and my mother met, because my father was able to get a visa through preaching, the Word of God.
Amen.
And my parents actually met at a church when my father was actually preaching in the church in Nevin Street in Brooklyn, New York, and that's how they met. My mother was 26 years old, and, my dad, I think at the time, was like 30 or something like that. But they met. And, of course, they got married and had 4 beautiful children. And I'm the third out of the 4 kids.
Okay.
So I'm the middle child.
Who's the bossiest?
I am.
Oh, okay. See, I'm the middle and I'm the bossiest too.
Oh my God, I am. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I have no filter. I am
Yeah.
very blunt.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, did I just say that? But I've learned how to self-reflect and just watch with the things that I say, and because I'll be like to my uncles or my cousins or my sisters, I'll be like, girl, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But
Plus, I like it. Plus, we like it our
yes,
way.
and I like it my way. Yes.
Yes.
And my older sister couldn't go to a lot of places without me.
Yeah.
I used to be like, no, she can go if I can go. Like, and my sister, and she's 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 years is a big difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like going out with her. I like, you know, but anyway, so with that being said, you know, we lived in New York. Then from New York, my parents were like, you know, we wanna, you know, raise our kids, you know, somewhere different. You know, because Red Hook, we're from Red Hook. You know, it was bad. You know, living in the projects. You know, it was just they were like, we have to move somewhere else. So my parents decided to move to LA. So we moved to LA, but you know where? We moved to Crenshaw.
No, you didn't, girl. Okay. East side,
Yes,
west side,
we
like.
seriously moved to Crenshaw.
Okay.
Okay, so my father, we moved to Crenshaw and Crenshaw Boulevard, we were there, and my father was a landlord of this huge complex, you know.
Yeah.
So we were there, we lived there for a good few years.
All
But yeah, it was either you were blood or Crib or you were Mexican. We were
Like-
Dominican and Puerto Rican. They did not know what we
What to
were,
do with
what
you.
to do, you know.
Yeah.
We would walk to school and they'll be like, are you a blood? Are you a Crib? Like,
Yeah.
where you from? Like, no, we're
Just here.
we're Puerto Rican. Like, we're just going to school, walking to school. So it was really, really hard,
I'm
you know,
sure.
living in Crenshaw, you know, and, you know, with the earthquakes, the pollution, those, you know, so my parents was like, all right, we got to move back to the East Coast. So for some reason, my father knew one Dominican in Worcester.
Okay.
And from all the places, we ended up in Worcester
Oh, God.
in 1989.
Oh, wow.
So I moved here when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
So we ended up, you know, we moved here, and of course, you know, when you're coming from a different state and all that, right, you need to settle. So we moved in, and I remember being a little girl, we moved in with my father's friends, and we were all in a one bedroom, right? All
we do what
six
we
of
do.
us, right, to try to get,
we do.
try to get it together, get everything, all that. And my father, you know, went to a food pantry. Was like, okay, I don't have a job yet. My mother has a job. We're trying to figure out where we're gonna go, our apartments. And the food pantry they ended up going was Friendly House. So I know a lot of people know Friendly House is another
Yes.
community organization. So when my father went, you know, he said, listen, you know, we're in need, we're a family of six, and they gave him a bag, just a bag of what he was like, wow, like, you know, how can a family of six be fed of just a little grocery bag, you know, and it was kind of an opening. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna see how I can help that community. How can, you know, we can work together, maybe I can volunteer. So my father started volunteering at El Buen Samaritano, at Friendly House, and my mom as well started volunteering at Friendly House, and then through there, they built a great relationship with Gordon Grove and Josefina at the time, and then asked Mr. Gordon Grove, he was the executive director at that time, hey, how do you open a food pantry in the city, you know, where we're at, because we were in Bellevue, Preston area, and he gave my parents a book this big, and was like, here,
This is it.
this is how you
Wow.
run, that's how you can open a food pantry and start your own nonprofit organization. So my mother knows both languages very well. My mother was working in downtown and that, and she went ahead and opened up the 501c3, you know, came up with God gave him the name El Buen Samaritano, and from there, they started it. We actually started organization on 949 Main Street, in the basement of the church that we were going to. So they started from there, then we ended up on Pleasant Street, then Dewey Street, then Bellevue Street, then Pleasant Street again, and then we ended up at the building that we're in now, which is 39 Piedmont Street. My parents saw that there was a need in the city, right? There was food insecurity was real. There was not a lot of food pantries back in the 90s. They didn't have a lot of resources for undocumented families. When it came to IDs, when it came to clothing, when it came to the basic essentials, there wasn't a lot of that. And they did all of that. We have been a volunteer-based organization for the last 31 years. So they have been sustainable. Buen Samaritano has been sustainable for the last 31 years by anonymous donors, by God, basically, right? By God. God has been keeping those doors open for the last 31 years. Now you're wondering, well, how did you come along, right?
Yeah.
Well, 6 years ago, my parents had a family meeting and sat my two sisters, myself, my brother, and said, listen, we're getting older. You know, it's a lot of work. You know, my father took his Social Security money, like to pay the rent, like money out of the pocket. And they're like, we can't continue because it's getting hard for us. We're getting older. And before we close the doors, we want to know if you guys want to take over the organization. And, you know, my sisters and all of them, I mean, my sister is a manager. My sister's a, you know, president of an organization. Like, my brothers, like, so that everybody has their own family, their own lives and all of that. And
But you did too.
and yes, I did.
You did too.
I did. And out of all the siblings, I said, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it. And, you know, God gave me the strength to say, Mari, go ahead and do it. And, you know, one of the things that I remember that when I stepped foot into El Buen Samaritano, you know, there's a lot of volunteers there, a lot of people from church, from the community volunteering. I was upset when I got there. And the reason why I said I was upset, the reason why I'm saying that I was upset is because when I got there, I saw the amount of people that were coming to El Buen Samaritano, asking for resources, for clothing, for food, for how to apply for SNAP, how to just get uplifted, how to get, you know, just those basic essentials. And I was upset because I didn't understand why the city wasn't helping, why the state wasn't helping. How come, you know, leadership, like how come no one knows the work that we're doing? Like I was like angry. And my father said to me, he took me to his office and he said to me, literally went like that to my shoulder, said, so you want to continue my legacy, the legacy that the seed that we planted, and you want to continue doing the work. But if you are going to continue this work, you need to change your heart. Because I don't do this work to get a recognition from the city managers, from the government, from the mayors, from city council, from people. I don't care. Well, what we're doing is we're doing God's work. And that's why we have been sustained. And that's why these doors have been opened. And that's why you have never been without. Your sisters, your mother, because we continue doing God's work with an open heart and showing people love and showing God's love. So if you're going to come in here with that attitude, either leave or change your heart. I was like, oh, shoot.
Wow. Okay, Papa.
And it's really because I'm getting a little emotional because he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. And I said, okay, all right, Dad. I said, God, you tell me what I got to do because I don't know how to run a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I don't know the business of it. I know food insecurity is real. I know that the community needs El Buen Samaritano, so I need your guidance. I need wisdom. I need to know what I'm going to do. Yeah. And, of course, I reached out to many people that, you know, do this work and all that, but I didn't get the mentors. I didn't get the, you know, the questions asked that I had. And God reminded me, I'm your mentor.
Yes.
So don't worry about it. I'm going to guide you. So don't worry about it. You don't need to ask men. You got me.
I'm your source.
Exactly. So what happened? I'm in school currently right now at Southern New Hampshire University, getting my degree in business and nonprofit.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I just started building relationships. I got a logo. I got a website. I started networking, doing Facebook Lives, telling the community, hey, this is where we're at. You know, this is where, you know, what are we doing? I've got great volunteers, things like that. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah. That shifted everything, girl.
The pandemic hit. And I said, what am I going to do? I'm like, this is scary. At the time, my dad was, you know, 78. I said, Papi, you can't leave the house.
No.
Like, you can't. I'm like, we'll figure this out, you know? And we did, you know, we ended up making the line outside. I was like, we can't close our doors. We have to stay open during the pandemic. And I remember I told my team, we got gloves, we got masks, we were trying to figure it out. And during the entire pandemic, Suzanne,
you stayed open.
We stayed open.
That's amazing.
During the entire pandemic, my father was with me. You think that man stood home? Absolutely not. If you and I said my mother will argue. He used to say, I said, Ma, we have to. You can't.
He won't.
You can't. He's 80 years old now. You know, he just turned 80. You know, God bless him. And that man is still there.
Oh,
He's
geez.
still there. You know, and my parents are amazing, but our doors never closed.
Wow.
Our doors never closed. My father never got COVID. I never got COVID. My staff never got COVID. Everybody else was closing, and El Buen Samaritano was open.
Hallelujah.
And people were like, who's EBS? Who's El Buen Samaritano?
Yeah.
What are they doing? And thank God for social media. Thank God for, you know, these platforms that I was able to share. Hey, we're open, we're here, you know, and it's just been a beautiful ride. And I am so grateful to, you know, the connections and the collaborations and the friendships and the people that I've had met through this journey, because I asked God, I said, God, if you want me to continue this legacy, I want my parents to see the legacy before they ever leave this earth. Everything that they wanted, I want them to see, right? They've always said they wanted their own building. They've always said they wanted commercial refrigerators. They wanted a staff. They wanted the organization to grow. And thank God,
Amen.
we have the commercial refrigerators. My father is driving a 2021 Mercedes cargo van, okay? We got 2 of them. Thank you for the collaboration of the Greater Worcester Foundation, believing and seeing the work that we're doing, right? And it's just, you know, I was able to be blessed and hire a grant writer. So we have a grant writer, because that was one of the things, is like, it's important. Like, you know, and we're all volunteer based. But I said, you know what, let's invest in someone that can help us and continue to be sustainable, to put money in the organization, because the work that we do is 24 hours.
Yes.
It's not easy, and we need to pay light, we need to pay staff, we need to pay electricity, the water. It's a lot of cost.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just, you know, building those relationships. And you know, I'll shout out also to the city of Worcester. We applied for ARPA funding. Thank God for, you know, my grant writer that was able to, you know, help us fill out that application, because
I heard it
for
was tedious.
a minority grassroots organization, small, it was a lot of work. It was a
Yes.
lot of paperwork.
Yes.
And, you know, we were able to apply, and we got funding.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
Awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
Amazing.
We got funding,
amazing.
and we're just excited to finally, you know, it's only for a year,
Yeah.
but it's amazing. Thank you to the city of Worcester for seeing and acknowledging the work that we're doing. We were there for the pandemic, and we were there for our community, and that's what it's all about. So, you know, we're continuing trying to build those relationships and all that. And,
I love that.
you know, but I'm a talker, so
Yeah.
stop me.
No,
Stop me.
you're fine.
Stop
you know,
me.
It's so good to hear about, like, you know, I didn't realize that you guys were open through the entire
Yeah.
pandemic. And, you know, were you guys busy during that time?
Yes, so let me tell you. So, another another thing that I used to do, I actually worked for JetBlue as a part-time at the
Oh.
airport.
Oh, okay,
So,
right there?
Yeah, right there at the airport, because I love traveling, by the way.
Me
Love
too.
traveling.
Me
So
too.
when my colleagues, one of my friends, because I also am a foster mom, one of my colleagues I work with was like, hey, I work part-time and I fly for free, so you need to work at JetBlue part-time. I go, girl, I don't have time. I run a nonprofit. I'm a foster mom.
Let me
Like,
write that
and
down.
but she's like, girl, like, you fly for free. So I said, you know what? So I ended up applying. I was an airport operation, working at the gate. You know, the funnest part-time gig ever, with the whole uniform and everything. And during the pandemic, you know, I remember seeing the airport closed, everything closed.
Everything closed.
I saw my colleagues that worked at the TCA, people that worked in the aviation world, come to El Buen Samaritano. People that worked in the restaurant business, come into El Buen Samaritano. People that worked in construction, come to El Buen Samaritano. Auto body shops, come into El Buen Samaritano. I've met people that literally said, in a million years, I would have not thought I would be in your organization right now. Because I don't know what's going to happen, when I'm going to get paid, because my company closed and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it affected a lot of people.
It affected so many people.
Classes, races,
Everything. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what your beliefs were, what color, where you from. It affected the pandemic.
Everyone.
It affected everyone. It affected everyone. And you know, one of the things that I made sure to, you know, my staff and myself is that, guys, right now, people are going through mental health right now. The mental health crisis is huge. The fact that you don't know that if you're gonna get paid, the fact that you don't know if you're gonna be able to pay your mortgage or your rent or have food in your table, that's anxiety. That's full-blown anxiety. That's a panic attacks. That's like, that's mental. That's mental.
And then imagine if you have kids too
Exactly.
with it, it's worse.
Exactly.
It's like,
So with the fact that our doors were open and we were able to show them love and help them and provide them those basic essentials in that moment of need, that's what we were there for.
Wonderful.
And you know, it was beautiful because we were able to build those relationships. I was able to build relationships with so many people through the pandemic that now they donate to EBS and say thank you for helping me at that moment of crisis, that at that moment that I needed, and you were able to help us. And now we want to help you and sow that seed and things like that.
And that's how it's supposed to be,
Yes.
you know, but that's how, you know, EBS got started. Your
Yes.
dad, he had a need. He went and he was like, oh my goodness, like we're a family of 6 because 4 kids, you know, 2 of them. And, you know, instead of taking his, he was like, okay, now I got help when I needed it. How do I go about and then help others? Because if I'm going through this, others are. And then he started it, and, you know, kudos to you for continuing this legacy. And, you know, just really, I'm glad that he had that talk with you because you do have to have a different mindset.
Yes.
It's, you know, going into it nonprofit it's not for accolades. It's
No.
it's not, and thinking you're a martyr, you know, like, you know, look at me doing this work. Like you will burn out, you will die, you will be unsatisfied, you know, just going there with this heart. It's like, I am here to help the people and the rest will come.
Amen.
Like God will, like, you know, like you said, God is your source and he will supply all your needs. And, you know, you've been able to, you know, put the work in and build relationship with him guiding you all the way. So no, really kudos for what you've been able to do and accomplish and, you know, and continuing his legacy. And you said he's 80, but girl,
he's 80.
You just say your grandmother celebrated like her 97?
Yeah, my grandmother just started celebrating 97, so it's my mother's mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's my mother's mom.
I think they'll be with you for a while.
Yeah. And you know what? He still be driving the van, going to the food bank and all that.
Oh my goodness.
But just so I can let everyone know the services. So we do provide. So if you know anyone, again, you know that food that just needs basic needs, right? Food. We have food. Food and, you know, food insecurity, but we have food, we have baby essential, we have baby formula, we get sometimes diapers. That's a huge need right now in the baby items. We don't get that all the time, but that's something that's a huge need with baby diapers, wipes, any baby items that's always needed. We also give out clothing. So girl, clean out your closet, we'll take it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we give out clothing. I
Okay,
mean,
good
actually
to
today I have other agencies actually call me asking, hey, I have a family of 6, you know, this and that, do you have clothing? I'm like, yep, absolutely, we do. So I make sure that we have a clothing closet for when I get those certain calls. Today I actually got a call from UMass, a clinical therapist. She was like, listen, I just met a family from Central America. They have a family of 4 and they have nothing. You know, and of course we thought of EVS and we want to, I'm like, no, tell them to come over tomorrow from 9 to 2. We were able to provide them and give them, you know, resources and things that they need to get them where they need to be. But yeah, so, and we also are partnered with the Worcester Animal Shelter. They also provide us food for your baby, for your animals, right? Animals are part of your family. So we get dog food, cat food, bird food, hamster food. There's a lot of birds in our community. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we also provide that. We also provide resources if you need to apply for SNAP benefits, for food stamps, for cash assistance. I can give you information of how to get that information. And then, of course, and whatever, if you need jobs, right? I work with Mass Hire, we collaborate with them. With Mass Staffing Solutions, we collaborate with them. And they come to El Buen Samaritano and they do table time. So if there's an organization out there, a business that has, community resources and would like to set, excuse me, excuse me. I need
Would
to
you
drink
like your
some
tea, right?
Yes, right? I am a talker. Let me drink some tea. Yes,
Sip that
sorry.
tea, girl.
Yes, girl.
No, yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. Sip that tea.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Yes. So if you know anyone, right, that is in need,
Yeah.
that would like to have a table time and come over, they can come reach out to me,
Absolutely. Oh,
and I'll be
wonderful.
more than happy to set them up a table. But we do have some new initiatives going on for the summer months. As of Monday, we are a meal site for the Worcester Public School students and for any students.
okay.
So if you have a child at home or your neighborhood kid and all that,
Yeah.
and if they're hungry for breakfast and lunch, El Buen Samaritano is serving breakfast and lunch from 9 in the morning to 2 o'clock
That's
Monday
awesome.
through Friday.
Because that's summer belly on these kids.
Yes, yes.
Girl.
So, they're getting orange juice, they're getting cereals, they're getting apples, they're getting oranges, so all of that. So,
Wonderful.
but also moms and dads out there.
Yes.
I know that the food that I said is only from 0 to 18, but EBS is providing snacks for the parents. So we also providing granola bars, juices, all that, so that,
awesome.
because of the fact that the partnership with the Worcester Public Schools, the food is strictly for the children. I am not going to be having a parent watch their kid eat. It's a little awkward. So EBS is providing for the
Providing food,
parents,
okay.
as well as,
All right.
we're having extra activities there. We got coloring,
awesome.
we got bubbles, hula. So it just started on Monday, so this week is a soft opening.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting out a flyer out there, letting everyone know that's it. And then also, we also just started a new collaboration with Ewing, Seven Hills Foundation, and Amazon, that we started food delivery. So if anyone is homebound and not able to come to El Buen Samaritano, they can call the Family Resource Center, and they will get all their information, and then we can set up a delivery. We will deliver food. Amazon will deliver food to you at your home.
Girl, you're amazing.
So that is another collaboration that we
That
just
is
started as well. And, it started this week. But again, right, people keep saying, food insecurity is real, food is this, hello, okay, let's talk. Let's work together. Let's figure this out, right? Let's come up with a solution and think innovative ways of how we can try to solve it, right? I wish I can feed the whole world, right? But if we feed one person, that you're making a difference, right?
Absolutely.
And then also, El Buen Samaritano also started another initiative that our food pantry is now a client choice food pantry. What is client choice? Client choice is that our clients get to come in to El Buen Samaritano. They actually get a shopping cart, and they get to pick and choose what they want, like a bodega, like a little bodega style,
Okay, I love
right?
it.
So food is medicine, and I'm trying to figure out ways, and I'm looking at it in the humanity part of it. What is my community actually choosing? Right? Are they picking more the sugar? Are they picking more the healthy? Are they picking more the okay? And I'm noticing that I serve more the Black and brown community, and 60% of my clients are Latinos, and as we all know, the Black and brown community, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer. I mean, it's just a lot. There's a lot of disadvantage.
A lot of economic factors.
Yes, and and I've noticed that even our pantry is a food desert. Like why am I giving monster drinks to my marshmallows and cookies and cakes? Like, why is it that I don't have the fresh fruits and vegetables? I get it, but I only get a certain amount. I only get to pick 6 pineapples when I go to the Worcester County Food Bank because I'm only allocated a certain amount. Right? I would love to be funded so I can purchase 3 pallets of pineapples, right? Pallets of, greens, of asparagus, of all these different things so that we can serve our community the healthy foods.
Absolutely.
Right? In order for us to function, we need to eat healthy.
And reduce the
And
diabetes,
reduce
the
the
hypertension,
diabetes
the
and-
thyroid, and all those things that comes from eating unhealthy.
Exactly.
So, it's like everything is so connected, but no,
Yep.
what you're doing is really good work. And
Yeah.
you know what, I am so proud of you. And, if
you.
you guys want to connect with them and, donate your time, food,
Yes,
money,
volunteer, yes.
anything. Because like she said, it is a donate, it's a volunteer
Yes.
organization. And, it's something that started with your parents,
Yes,
and
in
that you're
91.
continuing, and it's going to continue for generations
Yeah.
to come. So, but you mentioned, so thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that. It is great. But you mentioned something about fostering.
Yes.
Yes. So in addition to this, which
Okay.
is a lot,
Yes, yes.
you foster.
I do. So, guys,
Like, you're always giving back.
so it's so crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy that I became my parents. I'm
Yes.
literally my parents.
We turn into them, don't we?
We do.
Lord.
So another side of my parents. My
Yeah.
parents were foster parents for 27 years.
Okay.
So, and I've been a foster parent for 10 years.
Wow.
So me and my husband and my two daughters have been a foster. We help, right, kids that are in the foster care system, which is not their fault, but we make sure that we provide a home, a safe home for them. I've been doing this for 10 years, and it has been the most rewarding, the most amazing experience I've ever experienced in my life, and I don't think I can stop being a foster parent. With me and my husband started this, my daughter was 7, my oldest daughter was 7 at the time, and I asked my daughter first. I said, are you okay with sharing mom and dad with other kids? Because I needed her to really, I wanted to get the okay from her first before me and my husband decided to open our home to strangers, little strangers, right? Because there are little, we don't know them, right?
Yeah.
And my first experience being a foster home, I actually started with Essentia. It's with the undocumented refugees kids. And my first child that came to my home, her name was Mari Gonzalez. She was 16 years old from Mexico.
Oh.
And when I talk about, whoa, what I got myself into, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, wow.
And
16, you just
16,
dived right in.
I dive right in. 16 years old. I had my daughter, actually, it's going to be 10 years now because Khaleesi is going to be 10. And my baby, Khaleesi, was 11 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, with that being said, it was a journey because I thought that me being Puerto Rican, Dominican, I knew Spanish. She's from Mexico.
Spanish,
right? We're
right,
Spanish.
like, yeah, we
it was
get
going to
it.
be easy. We
Culture,
got it.
language.
Culture. Yeah, right.
Nothing.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, right.
No.
When someone has trauma,
Yeah.
when someone has gone through hell and back, when someone has gone through things that you personally have never seen
Or heard of.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's hard to
And
trust.
it's yes, it is. So I came into this very guarded because when you attach because these kids, they come and go, right? And it was a beautiful journey in the sense that she definitely tested my patience, tested should I continue doing this
do that.
or not, but I didn't give up.
Good.
I didn't give up. There was times that I had to actually go into a room and check to see if there was drugs in her room, guns in her room. There was prostitution involved. There was a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't give up on her. Like, I'm like, girl, you're 16, you're beautiful, you're here. I'm gonna help you. And it was in the sense like she needed to trust me, and I also needed to trust her. But we were able to form something, and I was able to help her get through what she was going through. It did take a week and a half being at mobile crisis at the hospital that I had to leave my home and be there with her because her mental health was not all there. She had a lot of pills, a lot of different things, and I knew there was something not right with her because of all her behaviors and things that she was going through. But I was there in the hospital with support from Essentia, and we didn't give up on her, and she was ended up hospitalized for a good, it's like almost 3 to 4 weeks. And as her being hospitalized, I would come and visit to make sure. But they were able to help her with her medication and things like that. But I self-reflected, and I had to check myself. I wasn't the right I wasn't the right home for her. She needed more intense therapeutic than I was. And you know, I remember when we had a meeting at the hospital, there was like 15 people there. Myself and our clinical worker, the hospital, and I had to tell her the news that she was not coming back to my home. It was extremely hard for me, but I knew I knew that I wasn't the right home for her because I wasn't well educated and clinically, like I dived right into it. Like I took map training and I'm like, okay, you know, so, and when I told her that she wasn't gonna come home to me, she told me in front of everybody, thank you for not giving up on me. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, because it could have gone another way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Okay.
And you know, we stood in touch for a while and all that, but as soon as she turned 18, she went back to Mexico.
Okay.
Okay. But after working at Centria, I ended up going to a different agency, which was Hopewell. Hopewell used to be Dear Family Services, so I've been with them for the last, gonna be 9 years with them. And me and my husband had fostered over 27 kids.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Yep, and currently right now, I have 3 weeks ago, I got a call at 5:30 and said, hey, Mari, I have 2 siblings. One is 6, one is 9. They're from India. Okay. I'm like, India? Okay. I'm like, and we need a home desperately. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, listen, you know, I'm just like, it's my daughter's graduation. I got the party. I'm about to go on vacation. Like, what do I do? The room, like, and I was like, told my husband, I told my daughters. They were like, let's go, let's do it.
Let's do this.
I was like, really?
It's a family thing.
I was like, all right. So, you know, 6 o'clock, I got these 2 little girls come in, and I'm like, hi. And they're like,
Who is she?
Who is she? What's going on? You know, and they, you know, it's rewarding. Yeah. The girls are doing great. Awesome. You know, they get to, their goal is reunification. So they are eventually going to go home with their parents right now, but not anytime soon. Okay. So we need to we're getting to know each other. We're getting to know each other right now.
That's an important part.
You know, one of the things of being a foster parent has helped me become a better parent, become a better listener, patience.
Yeah.
Oh, patience.
We think we're patient, but you know.
Patience, Lord. Patience. It's helped me become a better person.
Good.
It's to be self-reflect on myself, even with my tone, even the way I represent myself, the things that it changes your whole dynamics in your home as well. So if you're ever thinking of becoming a foster parent, think about you, think about your husband, think about your kids, because you have to be vigilant. You have to know that you can't walk around with underwears no more. You can't walk around with a bra no more. All of that is being real.
Yeah,
it's
like
it's you know, you have to if you're having, you know, conversations with your husband, you know, either if they don't know, I speak a lot with my husband in Spanish because they don't know, you know what I mean? But you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You know, also, you know, just be intentional and be present and treat your kids, treat them like your own kids because they're part of the family. I'm telling you that right now. If you're going to buy bubble gum for your daughter, buy bubble gum for that kid. If it's Christmas and your family's coming over, hey, buy them presents too. I told my family, my parents are foster parents too because they already know. They, you know, I let them know what's up. Guys, let's treat them like our own.
These are our kids
This,
until
I
they're
don't
not.
care if they're with me for 2 weeks, 4 years. Let's treat them like our own. Because the whole thing, being a foster parent, you want them to make sure they're in a safe environment. You want them to make sure that they are being loved, cared for, and that's where it's all about. Yes, you have your moments. Yes, but when you have that moment, walk away. Walk away. I mean, I can give you an example. The day before yesterday, right? The girls that came in, they have no clothing. They have no clothes. And one of the girls have 3 underwears and the other one got 2. DCF and all them provided me clothing. I said, oh, we got clothes. She goes, I don't want that. That's not my clothes. I don't want it. I'm like, okay, but you don't have underwears. I don't care. Those are not my clothes. I want my own clothes. So I was like, okay, so can you just like help me understand? She goes, I want my clothes because my clothes are in my home. I don't want new things. I go, you know what, you're right. So I'm gonna make a phone call and I'm gonna make sure that that DCF and all that call and get your clothing because you are absolutely right. All right? So I've been washing a lot of clothes lately, and
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I can see, you know what I'm saying? Because that right there is like a trigger, like, yo, leave me alone, stop asking me. But I'm just like, you would think, right?
Yeah,
And it's
like
funny.
new clothes,
Yeah, new
right?
clothes, new clothes. It's crazy. I had another child that was in my house that he liked used clothes and not new clothes.
Oh, okay.
Because he was used to always going to Salvation Army, the Goodwill, getting,
picking out clothes.
which little he knows that thrifting is the new thing now. You know what I mean?
It is.
But he didn't want the new clothes. He wanted the used clothes because that's what he was doing. So what's normal to them that we think is not normal,
Yeah.
that's normal to them. So what gives us the right to judge them?
Meet them where they're at.
Exactly. Pick your battles.
Exactly.
You got to pick your battles. I've been under the bed with kids in the sense of like, why are you under the bed? I don't want to go to school. Then I'm under the bed like, okay, let's figure out, why are we under the bed? Like, I have kids destroy my bathrooms because they were pissed off because their mom didn't call them. Literally rip my toilet like out of the socket. I've had that. I have kids flipped over the mattresses.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
but there was a trigger. So what is that trigger? What caused them to do those certain behaviors? So that's why I am very trauma informed. I've taken a lot of classes, and when it comes to what is autism, what is ADHD, figure out what's age appropriate, right? Age appropriate behavior, because a 6-year-old can act like a 6-year-old, but is that 6-year-old ADHD or is that 6-year-old just a 6-year-old? No, he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump up and down. He doesn't have ADHD. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Does he have autism? We don't know yet. Let's get him evaluated. Why are we trying to put medication on it? Because why are we
Until
on?
we know.
Until we know. So I'm now able to figure out. Okay, she's a 6-year-old. So yeah, she's acting like a 6-year-old.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody got ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Like it is
Yeah.
what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it's so crazy how society automatically.
Puts labels.
Yes, puts labels.
Puts labels, yeah.
Let them be kids. Let them like one of the girls, one of the girls is like, she likes jumping on my sofas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we jumping on my sofas?
I mean, we did at one point till our mom beat
And I
us,
was just like,
but
I was like, why are we jumping on my sofas, girl? Your feet are bad dirty right now.
Yeah.
So I picked my bottles. You know what I did? I got a blanket, and I said, guess what? Here's a blanket. You guys can, whatever, jump
Yeah.
on the sofa because that's the family
Yeah.
room. You know what I'm saying? But let's just put a blanket over it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
we met halfway.
Pick your
We
bottles.
met halfway. So guys,
Yeah.
I love it. I love
I know
being
you
a foster
do.
parent.
I know you do.
I'm a foster grandma.
Yes.
I have foster kids that came to my care that have kids, and I got to see their kids now. I have a relationship with my 2 boys that I had fostered for 4 years and a half that got adopted, and I had them for 4 years and a half, and they got adopted. I helped them to get adopted, and we have the best relationship ever. I see them. I see their dad, and we've built a beautiful relationship.
awesome.
Khaleesi, all she knows is them. That those are her brothers and things
yeah.
like that. As a foster parent, you do get a stipend. It is what it is, right? It's
Yeah.
not, you don't become a millionaire being a
No.
foster mom, okay? That's it. But I also am a trainer for the state. Like I train foster parents. I'm a liaison, I'm an advocate when it comes to the foster care system. Our kids need a lot of help
Yeah.
in the foster care system. They're not getting the supports that they should be getting. The fact that I have these girls that have been in care, that were taken from their parents 3 months ago, and they still don't have a therapist, to me, is mind-boggling.
It is.
Okay, I had a girl in my home that was 13 years old with me through the entire pandemic, 3 years. She left my house in August. To this day, she's back home and still does not have therapy.
Jeez.
Because there's a waiting list.
There is.
There's a waiting list. Okay, so let's figure out ways. Let's pay out of pocket. I had one of my girls that didn't want to go back home because she just didn't want to go back home. And I'm like, okay, but if I had a therapist, we could figure out what is the
Why
thing.
she doesn't
I
wanna go
ended up
home.
paying out of pocket one of my friends that's a therapist, and my friend was able to figure out why she didn't want to go back home. Came to find out she didn't want to go back home because she was scared that her mother was not going to provide for her when she went to high school for the basic essentials, clothing and school supplies. That was her anxiety. But that therapist was able to get
get
through
it
to
out of
her,
her,
right? Yeah. Yes, I get, but remember, I'm the mother figure.
Yeah.
So they're only gonna say certain things to me because I'm the authority,
Your mom.
right? I'm
Yeah.
mom. I'm the
Yeah.
pain in the butt.
Yes.
Things
Your mom.
like that. I'm the
Believe
mom.
me. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that, if you're out there listening, we need to advocate for these kids. These kids need therapeutic. Right now, I'm looking for therapy for my 2 girls right now. One is 6 and one is 9.
Yeah.
They need therapists.
They do.
Right now.
In this situation, I
Yes.
mean, it's not even that situation. When you're in the stage where you have to be removed from your home,
Yeah.
you do need help. You do
Of course.
need professional
And,
help.
and, then,
someone
and,
to
then,
speak to.
and then at the end of the day, right? It doesn't matter if your parents were on drugs,
Yes.
physically beating you, doing whatever. That's mom and dad to them
Absolutely.
because that's what they know.
That's
right?
trauma.
And
You take it from
by
your
you
home, it's trauma.
taking exactly.
Trauma.
Exactly.
No matter what
Even
caused
though
it.
we know that what's happening in their home is trauma and it shouldn't be happening,
Yeah.
but to them they don't know.
That's mom and dad. They're used to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if you ever want to become a foster parent, let me know. Hopewell. Shout out to Hopewell.
Okay. Yeah, hope well. No, you
Um,
don't do anything halfway, girl. I'm like listening to you. You're so passionate about giving back. Both with EBS and like food insecurity, and then fostering. And not only you
Yep.
are a foster mother, you go out there, you advocate, you speak for
Yes.
them. You do different. You go to different events and
Yes.
speak about fostering. You train foster parents. So, how do you self-care?
Oh,
Now let's talk about that, because girl, you're a
Yes.
whole lot in a
I
cute
know.
little package, right?
No, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Me and my husband made a promise since we've been together. We've been together for it's gonna be 20. We're 22 years together.
Yeah.
We've always said we have to travel twice a year. Okay, travel once a year with the family, then once a year
Just you
me and
guys.
him. So I'm actually leaving next week.
Girl.
Actually, next week.
For how long?
I'm going for 7 days. Actually, 8 days. Yes, 8 days. 8 days, 7 nights.
Is it family or him and you?
This one is family.
Oh, okay.
September, Labor Day weekend, that's my birthday.
Yeah.
It's me and him. We go for 5 days.
Hey.
Always. If you guys follow me on social media and all, you guys see I travel a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
I love traveling.
Me too.
And that's why I ended up with that. Like I was saying earlier, that's why I worked. I'm like, work at JetBlue. I get
Yeah.
free benefits.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Sign me up.
Shout out to JetBlue.
JetBlue, I'm gonna come call you JetBlue, because I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like to travel, and my money's been
So,
funny this
so
year.
now, so now, because I'm not in JetBlue no more, I make sure I
You
got
gotta
the
pay.
JetBlue your credit card, so you got the points. So, girl, got the points, okay?
Okay.
But let me tell you, I travel a lot, but then I also, I am very faith driven. I believe in God. I love God. Without God, I couldn't be sitting here with you right now, because let me tell you, when He gives you the strength, the energy, yo,
He does.
He does.
He does.
He does.
He does.
Let me tell you, because there's times that I can have I'm like, am I about to have a full-blown panic attack or anxiety attack? And I'm like, Lord, help me. Whew. Lord,
I am
rebuke
peace.
it. Like, let's go. I'm done. And,
Yeah.
But
He reins you in.
yes, you know, and I try to make sure that I don't bring work home. Even though I do the work that I do, because my family is very involved.
Yeah.
You know, on Saturdays we're like, all right, we gotta go to EBS because we gotta do this and we gotta do that, and you know what I mean. But you know, I make sure that I'm present. Being a foster parent has gave me, I call it a blessing that I'm able to be present for my kids. I have an 18-year-old daughter and I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I'm able to be present.
Yeah.
I'm there when they come home from school, when they come home from the bus. I'm there for every single event. I'm there for their appointments. I'm there. I'm present. My husband, yes, he works 9 to 5, but he's also present.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, a lot of parents don't have that privilege. They have to work 9 to 5 every day, 6 o'clock coming home. I had that before. I used to work in insurance.
Yeah.
Back then, I used to thank God for my mother that she basically raised my oldest. While my husband was working, I was working, you know, things like that. So I would have never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing right now in a million years.
Yeah.
Being a foster parent and running a nonprofit organization,
I love it.
I would have never thought. But God knows.
God knows.
God knows.
And you're doing it.
And I would not change it for the world.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it. I love it. And I think without it, I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah.
Like,
Something fashion, maybe.
Something in fashion. Something in fashion.
Something in fashion. Well, you know, I know there's so many different things that you're doing in Worcester.
Yeah.
I know EBS and, you know, fostering, and you're at every networking event.
Yes, I am. You know, go ahead.
Go on. No,
I'm just saying, you know, it's all about, right, just continuing building those relationships. You know, again, I'm sitting in tables that I thought I would never be sitting in. You know, like, who's Mari? Like, where did she come from? And, you know, I've been able, you know, I'm on the board for the YWCA. I am on the board for Worcester Community Action Council. Thank you. I'm on the board for Elder Services as well.
And you just graduated.
Great. Yeah, and I just graduated Leadership Worcester.
Leadership Worcester.
Shout out to Worcester, Leadership Worcester, Worcester Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Oh my God, let me tell you about that.
You told me about that, but talk about that.
Oh my Leadership Worcester with the Chamber of Commerce was one of the best experiences I've ever experienced. I'm going to tell you why. It was an opportunity to see the city in a way that I've never seen the city before, because I'm always around community, right? Food insecurity, about housing, resources, things like that, and you know, just seeing the economic and development part of it, the agricultural part of it, the education, you know, part. I do a lot of education advocacy with that, with the public schools, you know, education part of it, you know, with the arts and culture. I was able to see that in the city. But one of the things that I can say about this experience is that I did observe and see that there's still a disconnect in the city. There is. I feel that we need to, as a city, we need to do a better job in collaborating together, not reinventing the wheel. Let's figure out, if you have a strength that I'm weak in, let's figure out how we can uplift each other and work together and be more impactful. And that's how you make a stronger community. That's how you do it. You know, EBS, we have a saying that together we can do more.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, even with the delivery services and all of that, I got no funding for that. But the call came in asking, hey, can you provide the reusable bags and food for this program that we want to start? Are you able to do that? I wasn't going to say no.
Yeah. No?
I said, yeah, it's a need. It's for food insecurity is real, but I did it and I'm doing it, right?
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. We do need to, like,
Yep.
everybody's like, I think one of the challenges I see sometimes, everybody wants to be the visionary, everybody wants to
Yeah.
be the innovator.
Yes.
And, like, oh, you're right, together we can do more if we collaborate and, like, do it. It's that saying, right?
Yep.
A rising tide lifts all boat, but everybody wants their boat to be higher than everybody else's. But, like, I've seen great things happen when organizations collaborate. And, until we start to, and like the ones that are actually doing work, sometimes they do need to share
Yep.
what they're doing, like the successes, the practices, and things like that. When they see like an organization like
Yep.
EBS, like because you're willing to go out there and share your resources,
Yeah.
but there are other organizations that are doing well, and share the success, share the resources,
Yes.
train, help, other organizations. So it's not just on you.
Yes.
Because we need everybody.
We do. For example, like, I'm not a graphics designer. I don't know how to build a website. So, of course, I met Jennifer Hernandez from
Yes,
Jen Marketing
yes.
Solutions. Shout out.
Jenny.
Amazing. I met this other, Everbees. He's also a graphic designer that created our logo when I first started.
know him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, I needed a grant writer, and I was able to connect with Deb, from Magic Lamp Consulting.
Yes.
And I met her through the E4All.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I was able to, be part of. The E4R is a entrepreneur cohort that I was part of.
I love them.
And one of the reasons why I actually applied to be in the cohort, because I really didn't realize that a nonprofit was a business.
It is.
And they helped me understand the business aspect of a nonprofit.
Yes.
Yes, you have a 501c3. Yes, you have money coming in and things like that. But when you know that your organization is going to become a multi-million-dollar organization, you need to get educated, because it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen.
Absolutely. It's going to happen. It's already started.
Amen. Amen to that.
It's already
So
started.
it was beautiful to be part of the E4All,
Yes.
just to learn that business aspect of it, building those relationships with, business people, knowing about CPAs, about accounting, about all these different things, because running a nonprofit is not easy, and you have to be extremely very careful. And my parents always have. That's how we've been, right? It's been,
Yep, exactly.
But it's been a journey. But Leadership Worcester, it was amazing. So I hope you applied. I hope everyone, if you're hearing it, you applied, go ahead. It is a little pricey, but they do scholarships available,
Yeah.
things like that. But it was amazing. And how I found out about it was because David Sullivan asked me when he was part of it if I could be a panelist to talk about food insecurity, and that's how I learned about Leadership Worcester.
And you told me about it.
And I told you about it.
I met you at an event, and you're like, I love you. Have you heard
Yes.
about Leadership Worcester? You should apply.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. I
Yes.
just love that. You're always giving back.
Yes, yeah.
And I can't believe it's been an hour.
Oh, already?
It's like, yeah. I tell you that it flies. It really
Wow.
does fly. I mean, girl, you're going to have to come back, because the new season starts in September.
Yes.
You're going to have to come back.
And
I'm so glad that you came, and there's so many things that
Oh
you
my
talk
God.
about. And you talk about the self-care, the 2 trips a year. But
Yep.
what do you do every week, though, just for you?
Yeah, for
just
me.
Somebody.
yes, so I like to lay in my bed and binge watch 90 Day Fiance.
Why?
I like 90 Day Fiance. I watch TV. I tend to do that. I do my nails.
Yeah.
I always have
Yeah,
to get my
girl,
nails.
I'm like, listen,
my
I don't know,
nails,
your nails are
my
fabulous.
pedicure.
Yeah.
I like to do my
Good.
hair.
Good.
My self-care is, I just always need to make sure I
Yes.
look presentable.
That-
And shopping. I love shopping. I do.
I-
So I guess I do a lot of
You
things.
do a
Yeah.
lot of things, because you're like,
It's
wait,
self-care.
everything is like, wait,
Yeah.
my hair, my
Yep.
nails, my
Yes.
pedicure.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do love shopping. I actually,
Yes.
like last night, I actually saw this, and
Yep.
yeah, I don't shop a lot.
Yes. And
yeah.
and I just love putting things together.
I do too.
I don't care you know, what I love about being, you know, the
Yeah.
females, right,
Yes.
is that it doesn't matter what brand it is.
Yeah.
And I tell my daughters this all the time.
No.
I'm like, listen, you don't need to buy this $300 sweater. It don't matter because that $300 sweater is gonna look like you just bought it down the street.
Yeah.
It's all about how you put it together and
Absolutely.
accessorize and show
Absolutely.
color, have a pop of color. You always need a leather jacket. You always need a pop of color. You always need a red lipstick or, you know, a red pump or a pink pump or a blue pump. Okay, like.
All right, girl, now you're making me want to go shop. But yes, you're absolutely right. I mean,
You
you
know?
could pair an expensive piece if you have it with
Yes,
a cheap piece. Like,
exactly.
I love sundresses. They're so versatile and like comfortable for me. And
Yes.
like this one, just
Yep.
grab it. I'm done.
Exactly.
But I had such a good time
Same.
talking to you. There's so much that I learned from you.
Oh my God, I hope I
and-
didn't leave anything out.
No, you know what? And we probably did, but that's
Yes.
okay. Like, that's okay. We'll come back again. We'll do
Absolutely.
another episode another day. But I really wanted folks to really find out about EBS, and I really wanted folks to find out about fostering because, I
Yes.
mean, those are two things that you're truly passionate about. And I really
Yeah.
wanted them to see, you know, who I see. This just phenomenal, fantastic woman who
you.
gives back so much, is willing to learn, is willing to hold herself accountable to say, I'm not perfect, you know, I mess up all the time, but, you know, through the grace of God, I'm able to do
Amen.
it over every single day, and that's all we need. So I'm
Yes.
inspired by you, girl. I am
Thank you.
so glad that we connected,
Aw.
and I'm looking forward to working together in the future. I
Yes.
don't know what it is, but we will.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. So I just want you to sign off by just encouraging our guests, and just sign off. Just
Yes.
anything you want to say to
No.
encourage someone that's going through anything.
Yes, no, definitely. You know, what I would say is just continue to be kind, show compassion, don't judge anybody. If you see them a certain way, just say hi. Just continue just speaking life to a person. And if you haven't, and just continue being the light, right? Walk into a room and say what's up to somebody, say hi to somebody, just continue being the light because we're living in days right now that people are in a trigger. Like it's just so, but your light can change someone's mood on whatever they're thinking and things like that. But just be intentional in conversations, the way your tone with the things that you do in life, and remember, be passionate about anything that you do because that's what it's all about. It takes passion and the grace of God.
Amen now.
But
Amen.
thank you.
Amen. So I couldn't have said it any better myself. You see why I had to have her on the show. She said so many things that I truly believe in and passionate about it. I'm just going to end with this. You are a light and you are unique. So continue to shine your light. Continue to be you. And please, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to show up every day as yourself. And to give that gift to someone else is also allow them the room and the space to show up every day
Yes.
as themselves. So until season 2,
Woo.
this is Suzanne and Mari saying bye.
Bye.